We begin tonight with consumer groups downplaying fears of an immediate increase in water rates as the extension deal with water concessionaires are scrapped. But one lawmaker is sounding the alarm on another possible repercussion that canceling the deals would only worsen the capital's water woes. Shiloh Francisco with the story.
With the extension of the concession agreement with Maynilad and Manila Water cancelled, the deal with both firms is now only effective until 2022. Both concessionaires were alarmed with the decision, citing possible impacts on water tariff. But the Justice Department insisted there is legal basis for scrapping the extension as there is no provision on the agreement detailing such a process. The DOJ also clarified that the discussion on the agreements was spurred not by any intent to bring in a new concessionaire, but solely by the water crisis. But Senator Grace Poe fears the cancellation might only stretch out the water shortage.
Pinaka-nababahala ko ngayon yung revoke ng extension contract. Dahil kung yun ang mangyayari, alam mo kahit magpatayo tayo ng Wawa Dam, yung treatment facilities na, water treatment facilities, at saka yung conveyance, yung pag-distribute ng tubig sa mga households, sa mga businesses, pag hindi tinuloy ang pagpapagawa ng mga yan, kahit na may Wawa Dam ka na, pag tinigil ngayon yung distribution process, mawawalan tayo ng tubig.
But Laban Consumer said unfinished projects can be discussed in the crafting of the new deal with the government. The consumer group added the government or the private sector can take over these projects.
There will be probably a transition issue, but then infrastructure lang yan. These are just physical projects. Hindi yan mahirap i-continue. Kasama na yun sa restructuring, no? Yung obligations and contracts, paano i-assume ng new entity, whether government or another private company.
Dimagiba also downplayed fears of an immediate hike in water tariffs, saying that this will still need approval from the MWSS regulatory office. He says as far as increases are concerned, the regulator already approved any rate hike for projects until 2022.
Huwag po tayong matatakot dyan sa announcement na dodoble ang presyo ng tubig kasi hindi po yan agad-agad unilateral na pwedeng gawin ng mga concessionaire. Dadaan pa yan sa masusing pagsusuri.
What matters now as per Laban Consumer is for the MWSS to ensure that projects committed until 2022 will be fulfilled. But as it is, some projects with the water firms are being scrapped. The Cebu provincial government, for one, has terminated its joint investment agreement with Manila Water for a bulk water supply. This was after the water firm failed to consult the LGU before making changes in the deal. Cebu Governor Gwen Garcia assured though this will not affect water supply.
The agreement that has been terminated, but the joint investment company that was born out of the agreement will continue to operate until further notice.
Manila Water has not yet issued a statement regarding the issue. Shiloh Francisco, WR1 News.
Amid the water deal questions, another concern is becoming apparent: the water shortage in Metro Manila. A report by the Philippine Star says the problem would likely persist over the next 2 years. But who's to blame? Established in 1971, state-run MWSS proved to be inefficient in allocating water to Metro Manila, often resulting in hours of shortages. In 1997, private water firms Maynilad and Manila Water took over, improving the services across the capital. But years later, water level at dams started to decline. In Angat, source of 90% of the metro supply, water levels reached a critical point, and projections show it's going to operate below maximum normal capacity of 210 meters until June 2020. Concessionaires say interventions such as rotational interruptions and new facilities will help to improve the situation. With that, the firms project their capital investments to rise until 2020. As for government, which under the disputed concession deals is supposedly the one to develop new sources, allocated a 70 billion peso budget, primarily for water resources and flood control efforts. That's still only 1.71% of the national budget, a downgrade from its share in the national coffers a year ago. Meanwhile, one lawmaker wants to take things a step further. Buhay Party List Representative Lito Atienza wants the contract with the water companies to be cancelled right away. Atienza urges the president not to renegotiate the agreements. He believes that the concessionaires had a hand in drafting the supposedly onerous contracts. He also brushed off worries that this might deter investors and instead thinks that the president's moves might actually prove to be a boon.
The whole world should know we now have a president who knows how to protect local interests.